is no longer contestable that the governor of Anambra State, Chief Willie Obiano, has changed the story of Anambra State in the past 5 years. It does not matter whichever angle one looks at it. The verdict is the same.
Part of what His Excellency did was to give Anambra people, the Anambra, a new self-belief. Governor Obiano was like Margaret Thatcher, who restored that confidence to Great Britain. And she said, I want to put great back in Britain. So he not only was dealing with the hard policies and the rest of that, but was also doing things to begin to rebrand the state.
No objective assessment of Governor Willie Obiano's journey in office can be done without first understanding his promise to Anambra. It is this promise that binds him to the people that he swore to serve.
I came very prepared. I came with a very clear vision for Anambra. I want Anambra to be first choice investment destination and a hub for economic and commercial activity. The mission is very clear in my mind, and that's why we go to work every day, to create a socially stable, business-friendly environment where indigenes and non-indigenes alike will have opportunity for wealth creation. It is this vision and mission that we put together to get our blueprint. And from our blueprint, we now developed 14 enablers and 6 pillars. And these pillars are agriculture, trade and commerce, oil and gas, industrialization, logistics, and creative economy. Enablers are enablers because they are not an end in themselves. They are a means to an end. Security is number one enabler. Without security, you're not going to achieve anything. And you can see, because of the seriousness we have attached to it, we put our mouth where our money is. I've invested millions of naira into security. So we remain strong on security, and I can assure you that that will go a long way in helping us deliver on the high GDP, on shelter, on jobs, on social responsibility, on increased food production, on capital inflow, on modernizations, and on the exports. Before I came in 2014, Anambra GDP was below $1,000 per capita. Today, we are $2,300 per capita. That's where we are now. And if you put it in comparison with some countries in Africa, Anambra will rank 17th out of 54 countries in Africa. That is a great achievement. So I will allow my lieutenants to develop this area further, for you to see what we've been able to achieve in less than 5.5 years of this administration. But let me tell you, I'm going to finish very strongly, in the coming 2 years plus, because we've lined up a lot of activities, and it's clear in my mind how we're going to achieve that.
The key to the realization of Governor Obiano's economic blueprint is security. He realized from the beginning that no meaningful effort could be made to develop Anambra State without first fixing the timeless security headache of the state. So, he flew in a renowned Israeli security expert known as Moshe Kainen to headline Nigeria's first international security summit. The outcome of this summit is the famous Obiano security architecture and its operative arm known as Operation Ochapo, a joint task force made up of the police, the army, the navy, civil defense, and the NDLEA. No sooner had the task force been established than it had swung into action. It pulled down houses used by kidnappers as holding cells for their victims, rounded up violent criminals in large numbers, cut off the supply routes of illegal arms into the state, seized large catchments of ammunition, and unleashed a severe crackdown on the underworld that wiped all shades of criminality out of the state. The task force also launched series of flights by police helicopters into Anambra skies to spot imminent dangers from locations beyond the easy reach of human eye. Governor Obiano also rolled out 25 American-style smart cars and gunboat for the Navy to patrol the waterways.
Prior to the advent of this administration, people became scared of coming to trade in Anambra State. Keep in mind that we have the largest market in West Africa. But because of criminals and criminalities, people started diverting to Aba, to Lagos, to Abuja, to neighboring states, because it's no longer safe for them. Even Anambrarians began to migrate to other states, near neighboring states. Most of our traders evacuated Onitsha because it became unsafe for them. But today, they have started coming back. There's an influx. It's only in Anambra State in the south that you can come around and walk around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. You can go from length and breadth of the state, anywhere you want to go to.
One fundamental step he took, which maybe only the traditional rulers may recognize, is the fact that he spearheaded the amendment of the vigilante law, the state vigilante law, which hitherto was a bit confused in terms of who is the primary authority in the community. And the amendment was very unequivocal that the traditional ruler is the first and foremost, and he is the primary authority in the community. And as such, he becomes the chairman of the vigilante committee. And that law also has created a state environmental, a state vigilante committee, which again hadn't existed before then. And the vigilante committee is a statewide basis, but is operating at the local level. So each community has its own vigilante committee, of which the traditional ruler is the chairman. And it's part and parcel of the overall security arrangement in the state, which has been applauded all over the country.
If Operation Oshapu 1 was so successful that it won Governor Obiano several awards, including the best governor on security architecture in West and Central Africa, the recent launch of Operation Oshapu 2 makes a strong case for a higher recognition. This is because Operation Oshapu 2 marks the smooth migration of Anambra's security architecture from the usual brick and mortar backbone to a much more sophisticated and digital security superstructure that runs on the latest information and communication technology. It was a proud moment for every Onyanambra who was at the venue to hear the voice of the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Force, Mr. Frank Mba, declare that it was the first time any police force in Africa would be presented such an intimidating array of equipment to combat crime on the continent. The equipment has a capacity to generate and process photo and video of a crime scene from a long distance and conduct data analytics from different locations onto a common control room. With the launch of these equipments, Obiano has once again assumed his full office as the Chief Security Officer of Anambra State, adopting the best global practices in crime busting and control to give Anambra a new lease of life. As a result of this, the Nigeria Police has honored Obiano with the award of Nigeria's Best Governor in supporting security architecture. He was also recently honored by Security Watch Africa as the security icon in governance in West and Central Africa.
I want to start by saying that I'm really surprised. I'm surprised with the level of equipment I've seen in this state rolled out by the governor. But what I've seen is beyond imagination. What I've seen is a total package for security. It should be noted that it is not the first of such donation made by Your Excellency, and as such we encourage other governors in this country to emulate you.
A remarkable feature of the Obiano administration is the establishment of institutions and agencies to handle specific areas of need. This is also known to be one of the hallmarks of a true democracy. One of the important institutions of the Obiano administration, which has changed the narrative of Anambra State, is the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA. This agency has attracted many investors to Anambra State, from Josan Rice Farms in Ufuma and Umumbo to Linden Integrated Farms, Ibariam, Koscharis Farms, Anako, Koscharis Rice Mills, Ibariam, Stanel World, Golden Tulip Hotel, and a handful of other businesses that are flourishing across the state.
We key in very seriously to His Excellency's blueprint in terms of the pillars that we believe will drive Anambra economy, which includes agriculture, trade and commerce, logistics, the creative industry. All this is tied into an economic blueprint, and we essentially expedite and facilitate this for the state and for its investors.
ANSIPA has made it quite easy for investors to set up businesses in Anambra with little, if any, delay at all.
In 2018, Anambra was the 5th most improved state in ease of doing business in the country. And this is as a result of numerous reforms that we've done within the state, which is why the most sustainable form of running your economy is being able to run it on domestic direct investment, where you're getting people in the state, in the country, to understand the opportunities that are available in your economy, and you're streamlining the process of making that investment from the first day they get into your office to the day where they're signing an MOU and getting their land to move on to very short time. When we first came in, this process could take from anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Today in Anambra State, that process is 2 months maximum. In fact, the process of agreeing that we will work together and we will sign with you is a month. Then the extra month is for identifying the parcels of land and ensuring that the CFOs are done and we dot all our I's and T's. This is a huge reform. All this would not have been possible if His Excellency did not pass the bill to create ANSIPA and did not staff it with the appropriate personnel resources to drive his agenda in that institution.
With the giant strides already taken, Governor Obiano's dream of making Anambra the hub of economic activity east of the Niger will soon be actualized. The construction of the Anambra State International Airport, Umueri, will soon become a reality, one of the most ambitious projects ever embarked upon by any state government in Nigeria's history.
This airport, the runway is about 3.6 kilometers. With 400 meters each side, each end of the runway as called at the free zone. So work is going on very well because His Excellency has directed that the contractors work day and night, and that's what they are doing. But so we want to tell in Anambra that the airport is going on and is going on according to schedule. And according to His Excellency, the airport will be delivered according to the program. The airport from the point of award from November will be between 15 to 18 months. His Excellency, in his wisdom, directed that we segment the contract to this airport. So the works were segmented into 15 and we are giving it bit by bit. We gave the runway, we gave the control tower and the lighting to Kremborg, and it was awarded in November. Then we gave the apron to Kremborg again, and we gave the terminal building to China Railway. We're giving the taxiway to IDC, and we're giving the drainage and diversion to IDC. And all of them are on site. Even some contractors are promising that instead of 15 months, they will do it in 12 months. And we are pushing them. The Excellency is paying them as a schedule. So they are working day and night. You know what it means. We work Saturday, Sunday. Even on Christmas Day, we are working. New Year Day, we are working. Boxing Day, we are working. So no leave, no transfer until this airport is delivered. And we have a team that we call the Airport Supervisory Stroke Delivery Team. We sleep, we wake up, we think all about Anambra International Cargo Airport.
The inauguration of a division of the Court of Appeal in Awka, Anambra State on Wednesday, the 5th of February 2020 was a remarkable moment in the history of the state and a testament to the legacy administration of Governor Willie Obiano. For 29 years, The people and government of Anambra State endured the risk and stress of traveling to Enugu to seek justice in the appellate court under hazardous and very traumatizing conditions. Burdened with these realities and propelled by a stronger desire to provide a robust judicial system in Anambra State to support the growth and developmental drive of his administration, and to attract even more federal institutions to increase the federal government's presence in the state, Governor Obiano's quest for a division of the appellate court in Anambra State became expedient, and with the help of an efficient state ministry of justice and the efforts of other Anambra-born legal luminaries, the dream became a reality.
His Excellency was so eager to establish the Court of Appeal. He said he wants it to happen like yesterday. So we started the process. So at some point, it was approved notionally, and they gave us a condition that we should provide a furnished courtroom, justices' quarters for the staff, and what have you. So we went ahead and started working towards that. Then at some point, within the period of gathering and providing all these facilities, the Court of Appeal sent a team to Anambra State. So they came in, inspected the facilities, and approved the facilities. And that happened with the assistance of His Excellency, because it was His Excellency who provided all the facilities. So we are grateful to His Excellency having done that. And the people of Anambra are so excited, very happy, particularly lawyers.
The inauguration of the Appeal Court occurred by the President of the Appeal Court, Justice Zainab Bukashua, on the 5th of February, was the culmination of these efforts and the result of an arduous but fulfilling task.
It records yet another milestone in the country of the Court of Appeal in particular, and the Nigerian judiciary in general. It is also an epoch-making event, and one which should naturally gladden the hearts of all Nigerians, for it is the commissioning of the Outer Division of the Court of Appeal, which is long overdue. Current trends in the justice management system are focused on probity, accountability, ethics, and best practices of judicial officers on the one hand, and the quick dispensation of justice and bringing justice closer to the people on the other hand. Your Excellency, the Governor and the people of Anambra State, once again, we in the Court of Appeal are exceedingly grateful for your support and cooperation, for without it, we would not be here today. And we sincerely hope that you continue to support us.
The importance of this day will easily be seen in the imperatives of justice to a society that desires growth, freedom, and democracy. Indeed, no progressive society can experience rapid growth without a stabilizing presence of a robust institution, of which the judiciary is one of them. Therefore, as our beloved state expands to accommodate the growth of our democratic culture in the economy and the social life generally, it becomes important that we establish the organs that will help to keep the society on its toes. The Court of Appeal complex is therefore a child of necessity. It is consistent with my administration's effort to give the judiciary a pride of place in our state and to bring justice closer to their number. Permit me to note that in line with the resolve to reposition the judiciary in Anambra State, we have built befitting quarters for our judges and cleared the arrears of salaries and sundry entitlements owed the retired judges by previous administrations in the state. All this considered, I think it is not out of order to say that my administration has maintained a cordial relationship with the judiciary.
It was a day for the common man, the Anambra man, as justice was brought even closer to his doorstep. The number one pillar of Governor Obiano's economic blueprint is agriculture. This is one area where Anambra has dominated national headlines in the past 5 years. Obiano's forays in this sector began with the setting up of a special committee headed by a renowned agronomist known as Professor Chukwuemeka Omaliko. The committee was mandated to conduct a comprehensive research on soil types across Anambra State to determine which crop was suitable for which soil and location. The committee's findings reveal that rice, cassava, yam, tomatoes, and vegetables could be grown in commercial quantities in Ayamelum, Anambra East and West, Obaru, Ihiala, and Orumba South and North. Armed with this knowledge, the government went into partnerships with major agro investors like Koscharis, Josan Agro Limited, Linden Farms, Chelsea Farms, Excel Farms, Eagle Farms, and other investors in the agro-allied sector. The efforts to encourage more people to go into farming have also yielded tremendous results, as there are currently 115,000 farmers and 2,700 cooperative societies.
Agriculture is His Excellency's first pillar, and he's been pumping so much money into developing that sector. Before he came in 2014, rice production was at a very low ebb of about 80,000 metric tons, but presently we are doing 345,000 metric tons with hope, with after the season to get to 400,000 metric tons in the rice, and they were doing well in maize as well as yam production too. His Excellency is also looking at other sub-sectors which can improve our gains in agricultural sector. You are well aware of his passion to drive the feeble production. So we are getting statistical information on where the ranches can be situated, what are the adaptability of the cows to those areas, especially the local cow we are trying to develop. So we are coming up with that. Very soon we'll come up with a very standard policy. Also, we are looking at other areas that can diversify the economy of the state with respect to youth and women empowerment, looking at apiculture, that is honeybee production. Apart from the honey we use as a substitute to sugar, honeybee has a lot of side products that can give youth and women a lot of money in their pocket aside from the honey. So we'll be launching an Happy Expo very soon, where all the honey producers in the state will come with whatever they are doing, and then we train local government by local government the youths that we are going to use in setting up sub-villages, apicultural villages in all the local governments. Then we'll have a central processing line where all the extractors, the cleaning facilities will be located. An investor or an off-taker will be centrally located where he pulls up all these honey, cleans it, processes it, and then bottles it in partnership with Anambra Label, because Anambra Honey has already been registered as a brand name. Now, we have recently received a very keen interest in sweet potato production. There's an investor who has approached us. He has imported a $10 million worth of equipment for processing of sweet potato, transferring it to these noodles and all that, which is going to both for local market and for export. It's a new product as it were into the Anambra value chain. We want to now go into commercial sweet potato production, which is a major crop. The good thing about this one is that the off-taker is already waiting for the product. So we are doing all these extended programs to increase the volume of agricultural potentials in the state with what His Excellency has already achieved in the rice subsector.
Rice production has been aggressive in the past few years, with Koscharis Farms and Josan Farms running fully integrated agricultural enterprises that ensures a full circle production of rice from the farm straight to the milling plant and then to the wholesale market. The recent opening of the fully automated Coscharis rice farms drew the attention of the entire agricultural establishment in Nigeria to Anambra State. The 40,000 metric tons per year rice mill is a great example of what Anambra State can become if her enterprising indigents finally decide to look homewards and change the narrative.
I would like to sincerely thank the Almighty God, without whom it would not have been possible for us to be here today. The second thanks will go to His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano, who made all of this possible. God used people to make things happen. Okay, there's no investment that will thrive without security. So you need to create the friendly atmosphere that investors will consider safe, because you want to make money, but the money you are making is no more important than your life.
I salute His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, for creating the environment which enabled Coscharis Farms Limited to thrive, and thereby making this project a reality today. And of course, today, everybody knows in Nigeria that because of the policies that the governor himself put in place towards ridding the state of criminality and banditry, that this state is one of the safest states in Nigeria today.
Iden Farms has continued to pull a massive weight in the livestock sector as the largest poultry farm in southern Nigeria, having added a new facility with a capacity of holding 90,000 birds to its offerings. Meanwhile, Eagle Farms in Umuchu is blazing the trail in the commercial rearing of Efibo, which has been widely applauded by the people as a clear pointer to what can be done to minimize the friction between itinerant herdsmen and farmers. On the other hand, our vegetable farmers are doing just fine. Awka-based Graphil Nigeria Limited has been exporting vegetables from Anambra to the US for quite some time now.
2015, that's when we began to explore the opportunities there are. Following the concerted efforts of our governor, Dr. Willie Obiano, to encourage agricultural activity, particularly export of vegetables, we underwent some of the trainings. They brought people from abroad to give interested actors on health and safety measures and ways to condition and preserve vegetables and make them exportable. And initially, we were moving our products from Awka to Lagos. It was in Lagos we were loading them into reefer containers, and to do that you need a refrigerated truck. So I used to check the reefer trucks provided by Anambra State government, move the cargo to Lagos, and in Lagos we now transload into the reefer container for onward exports. Yes, so Anambra State certainly under Willie Obiano, has done so much to encourage the exports of agri products.
There's a lot of interest in Anambra. People are coming to understudy what Anambra has been doing in terms of agricultural development. And we are not relenting on our oars. We are trying to develop more programs that will upscale what we are doing. We are trying also to be mindful of the quality assurance, so that whatever that does not meet the market demand, or the market quality demand of the ministry, will be taken off the shelves. And a lot of awareness is being created among the market women and the market men who are doing all these transactions, to guarantee them that the support of the ministry is with them, to make sure that whatever is coming into the system is quality assured.
The Willie Obiano administration has taken education to an enviable height in Anambra State. Under Obiano's watch, Anambra has recorded the most impressive feat in education by any state in Nigeria.
Education for Chief Dr. Willie Obiano is a very strong enabler. An enabler is an energizer. An enabler is actually the foothold of the pillars, because the stronger the enabler is, the stronger will the pillars be. So for Chief Dr. Willie Obiano, he has a clearly defined blueprint about what education should be. One of our strategic objectives is that the learning needs of all must be met through equitable distribution of resources, very important, and ensuring that we are one of the 3 top states with the lowest literacy rate.
The gold medal won by 5 girls from Regina Passage Secondary School, Onitsha, at the World Technovation Championship at the Silicon Valley in US has shown that a silent revolution is going on in the educational sector of Anambra State. If there were any doubts about that, the bronze medal won by 4 boys from St. John's Science and Technical College, Alo, at the International Festival of Engineering, Science and Technology, IFEST, in Tunisia this year, has further confirmed that a revolution is afoot in the educational sector. Similarly, the robust motivation given to school teachers in Anambra State under Obiano has put Anambra teachers up for national honors and award for exemplary performance. Recently, 4 Anambra teachers won different awards at the President Teachers Award held in Abuja. Anambra was the only state that went home with 4 awards at the event. Under Obiano, hostels with a capacity to shelter 700 students have been built in 12 technical colleges, while 1,000 new teachers have been recruited to teach in primary and secondary schools.
We started to change the psyche of our children. True, Anambra State has always been on the top, Even before we came in, we were doing well. There's no doubt about that. But then how do we maintain that and ensure that we have students who are able to defend their certificates at all times? We developed what we call the 10 shared values to make a positive impact on everyone I meet and everywhere I go, to be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved, to be a role model order of emulation, to be my best in all I do, and so on and so forth. And the last one, number 10, that says to make my family, my state, my nation, and my God proud. And it began to change how our children, we are thinking. We started with some dictums. We said, nothing is impossible. Yes, we can. So His Excellency said, I want to give them education that is globally competitive. So that's one thing about His Excellency. He would want you, he never likes, he doesn't like second or third position. He always wants you to come first.
When the Obiano administration started, the governor made it very clear that he was going to build roads and construct bridges that have economic importance. By this declaration, he meant that he would give priority attention to roads and bridges that lead to industrial clusters, agricultural belts, the oil fields, and commercial centers. So far, the 3 flyovers in Oka and Amobia, and other bridges like the Nengo River Bridge, the Iowa Bridge, the Ebenebe Amansi Bridge, the Umueje Bridge, as well as the Kisa River Bridge in Omonia, the SARS Okozo Abu Benando Bridge, Ndukwenu Awa Ufuma Bridge, and the Ezira Umuomaku Enugu Monya Bridge are outstanding legacies of the Obiano administration in terms of bridges. However, the 280 meters long Agule-Riotu Bridge that leads to the oil fields of Anambra State stands out as the longest bridge in southeast Nigeria, an administration that is committed to changing the story of Anambra State.
When he entered, he inherited about 96 number of roads, and he promised Anambra people that he's going to continue from where the last administration stopped, and he's going to award new ones. And that's exactly what he has been doing. And in awarding this road, he made sure that these roads are evenly distributed among the 3 senatorial zones. And equally, he takes into consideration the no-go areas. The communities in Anambra State are not seeing third roads. I think Nzam is one of the few local government, if not the only local government water in the entire country that doesn't have a third road. He's taking a road from there, from Miata to Nzam. It's being done by Canopy. He's doing a road to Onono. Onono is a community in Anambra West. They've not seen a third road. There are communities in Anambra, they go to their community through Delta State. But he's doing a road being done by Tamad. In Obaru local government, we are doing a road to Oguaniocha. This road is about 12 kilometers. This road, they've never seen a third road before, and it's probably an oil-bearing community. We are about awarding a contract for a bridge that connects Ehiala with Obaru, so that anybody that is going to Port Harcourt from Onitsha will pass through Obaru and go to Port Harcourt. Then he's doing another road. We want to link Oguipele. This is a federal road, but he has continued to push, and he has said that this dry season we must get to Oguipele by road. Oguipele is where SEPCO is fully operating. So His Excellency has been passionate about doing roads and is making sure that these roads are done to the best international standards. And that's why he set up a design review committee. This design review committee will make sure that our drains are properly discharged. In Anambra State, we have over 1,000 active erosion sites. And because of the type of soil we have, alluvial soil, so it is prone to erosion. And when these drains are not properly discharged, keep on creating gully erosion. So this design review committee makes sure that every drain, every road done with drain is properly discharged to a natural water channel. And by doing this, erosion is minimized or equally controlled in Anambra State. This design review committee makes sure that the asphalting, the drain, the filling is done to the best international standard. In Anambra Central, we are doing a road that goes through Amanuke to Achala. It's ongoing as we are talking today. And we are doing a road from Amanse, Ndukwenu, Awa, Ofuma Road. This road is being done by Stefanucci. It has 3 bridges, and the 3 bridges have been completed. The Newi Hotel Road in Newi is being worked by Benejav. So His Excellency makes sure that these roads are done in 3 senatorial zones and are done simultaneously so that everybody will have a touch of what we are doing in road infrastructure. In Anambra South, we are doing a number of roads, and we completed some. Construction of St. Margaret Church, Ndi Keliong Eziope Road is completed. The one construction of Chukwuemeka Odumego University Road in Uli has been completed. And the Zoboli Hembos Opo Road is ongoing. Construction of Eziro Umuomak Enugu Monya Achina Road, being done by Arab contractor, is ongoing and is with a bridge. The bridge has been completed. We are doing a construction of Eziala Road in Osumowu. It's being done by Stefanucci. It is ongoing. We are consulting Mbose Azia Road. This is a road that links 2 local governments. It's being done by Philippa Associates with a bridge. It is ongoing. The popular 100-foot road in Newi with about 20-meter deep erosion control is been awarded. It's been awarded to IDC, and the project is ongoing now. Then in Central, the popular Minaj Obosi erosion site has been completed by His Excellency. It was done by IDC. The construction of Nokwa Ichida Road has been completed. It's done by Akomas and is completed. The Oyolisa Ogidi Umoji Road, Ogidi Boys Secondary School is ongoing as we are talking now. So he has done construction of Old INEC Y Junction Road. This is Okpuno here. It has been completed by His Excellency. Construction of additional roads in Okpuno Oka linking Abakaliki Road to Ngozika Estate has been completed by His Excellency. All these things are happening in Central. Then construction of Senator Ben Obi, that's in Udoka Estate, has been completed. The construction of road linking Ekezio and Afigu Monachi is ongoing. The road that links Omonachi to Eziowele to Afigwe is ongoing now by Daniels. Then the road that links Oyolisa to Obunike is being done by Tamad. The road that leads Omonia through Obunike to 7 Mile is being done by Daniels.
Governor Obiano's vision for the health sector is that Anambra should become the state with the highest health status in Nigeria, with unfettered access to healthcare delivery and near-zero disease burden. The aggressive pursuit of this vision has led to the establishment of the Anambra State Primary Healthcare Agency to tackle the fundamental issues in primary healthcare delivery in the state.
We have our vertical programs from the national we carry out twice a year. I'm talking about the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week. We also carry out the National Immunization Plus Days. Right now, we just finished the MNA, introduction of the meningitis vaccine into routine immunization. So we have kept abreast with all primary healthcare activities. We coordinate immunization activities nutrition activities, integrated management of childhood illnesses, and health education. These are core programs under the agency. So the response has been wonderful because each health facility was given basic equipment, including the keke ambulance. You know, you have some cases that come to the health facility, especially at night. And because they are tricycles, they can move in the communities, even with the rough terrain. For some reason, labor issues usually occur at night. So when you have difficult labor, we move the woman with the keke ambulance, and any other case that requires a referral. So it has really been very helpful.
But more importantly, it has led to the inauguration of the Anambra State Health Insurance Agency, ASHIA, to make Anambra healthcare delivery easy and accessible to the greater number of our people. In addition, the government has donated the sum of 747 million to all the mission hospitals in the state to help them retool their processes and offer critical interventions in the health sector.
Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme was born out of His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano's vision of giving Anambra State what the healthcare outside this climate look like. Somebody who is ill, having needs for antenatal care delivery, whether it's instrumental delivery or surgeries, whether you have appendix and you need appendicectomy, you have hernia, you need herniorrhaphy operation, you need several kinds of surgeries. Somebody is having diabetes, you have hypertension, from diagnosis to treatment, even if the person will be admitted. In our benefit package, we have allocation to admit people for non-surgical cases for up to 15 days in a year, but for surgical cases for up to 21 days in a year. So you can't beat that at paying 1,000 naira every month.
The most outstanding legacies of Governor Obiano in the healthcare sector may well be the Immaculate Heart Multi-Specialist Hospital, Aguleri, which compares favorably to any modern hospital in the advanced parts of the world. The recent opening of the hospital attracted positive comments and outright commendations from Anambra, who are happy that such a world-class medical facility has come within a touching distance.
This hospital, that is multi-specialty hospital, will have a helicopter landing pad for medical tourism. That will facilitate bringing patients anywhere in the world to this place for treatment. With this hospital, you shouldn't bother to go abroad for treatment because all the things that you get abroad, you even get more here.
Renovation work is still in progress at the Onitsha General Hospital, Enugu General Hospital, and Ekwulobia General Hospital, which shall be completed in no distant time. But one of the most memorable achievements of the Obiano administration in the medical sector is also the commissioning of the largest oxygen plant owned by a state government in Nigeria. The Anambra Oxygen Plant, located in the premises of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Awka. Also worth remembering is the accreditation of the Medical College of the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University and the offer of automatic employment to its pioneer medical students who had been marooned in the college for 10 years because the school was not accredited.
As a matter of fact, His Excellency's attention to healthcare has been of immense benefit to the teaching hospital. As you know, just recently he commissioned the oxygen plant, and that singular move alone has brought down the prices of oxygen here in the teaching hospital. Because before now we normally get oxygen from Enugu. So for now, it's within our doorstep, and all thanks to His Excellency. Currently, we're housing the only mega lab in the southeast that can handle 510 specimens as against micro labs. As I'm talking to you now, it might interest you to know teaching hospital Nnewi, teaching hospital Enugu, all bring their samples here for virology analysis because we now have a plant that can process 510 specimens, and it is designed that it will be 24-hour power supply services. Now, to be able to do that, there are standby gen. There are 2 inverters, one automatic and one semi-automatic, in addition to our 18 to 20 hours of power supply services, which we currently now enjoy in the hospital.
The World Health Organization recognizes 6 basic building blocks for a functional healthcare system. 1, we speak about service delivery, manpower, human resources, data, availability of essential medications, governance and leadership. Then you talk about health financing. These 6 different components makes up a functional healthcare system. Goal of this administration is to strengthen the healthcare system by hitting on these individual blocks. Any block you get right ties into the next.
One of the most enduring legacies of the Obiano administration is the highly innovative Community Choose Your Project initiative. This initiative has been described as revolutionary by many development experts and widely adopted as a fantastic rural development model. It places emphasis on empowering the grassroots by giving the people a chance to choose what is best for them according to the priority of each community. It is a quintessential bottom-up approach to development that has never been tried anywhere else. Under this scheme, 188 communities in Anambra State have been given a chance to feel the presence of government in their locality. No community is left behind. Now, in its 3rd phase, the initiative places the sum of 20 million naira in the hands of each community for a project of its choice. This initiative has changed the landscape of Anambra State.
The 20 million Community Choose Your Project initiative was an initiative of His Excellency the Executive Governor of Anambra State that was aimed at bringing development to the grassroots in Anambra State. The project has succeeded so well that it has become a reference point to the extent that Fortune magazine called it a blueprint for successful development at the grassroots in Africa. The way it was designed is that the contractor has to come from the community. And by so doing, the laborers that work on the project are from the community. So this concept worked so well for us during the recession. And that's one of the primary reasons why Anambra State cushioned the recession better than other states. By the time we finished with the first phase, second phase, more than 200 million naira of goods and services was generated in every community all over Anambra State. So while other states were going through recession, Anambra State indigenes were smiling and benefiting from the good governance of Anambra State. In the first phase, the communities in Anambra State, for instance, chose 112 lock-up shops between the first phase and the second phase. And this is not surprising because Anambra State is known for commerce and is known for industry. And also town halls and civic centers. That's about 100 town halls and civic centers. And then you have health centers, 60 of them between phase 1 and phase 2. Some chose schools, staff quarters. That's again about 80 between phase 1 and phase 2. So as you go around the communities, you will see that these projects have been finished. It's a wonderful initiative. It has succeeded, and states all over Nigeria are wondering how we did it.
The Obiano administration has brought some improvement in power supply to Anambra. From Oji River in Enugu State, the administration ensured the installation of a 33 kV line to supply power to Orumba North and South. This particular initiative was so transcendental that an unintended beneficiary, the Isoshi community in Abia State, had to send a delegation to specially thank the governor for giving it a rare access to electricity. The administration has also installed another 33 kV line from Awada through Idemili to Nnewi to improve power supply in 43 communities and distributed 400 transformers to all communities in Anambra State. Another 33 kV line has also been installed from Oboji in Orumba North to Peters University in Agwata.
His Excellency has installed about 300 transformer substations to various communities in the state, has also distributed about 400 transformers to different communities as well. His Excellency has also done a lot on that transmission. The extension of that 3 kV line from Agwaka to Aguleri, the extension of that 3 kV line from Oji River injection substation to Orumba North and South that benefited about 31 communities. Then the big one, His Excellency just signed a mega MOU with TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria, to do a mega 2x60 MVA substation at Oba, at Onitsha, at Nnewi, at Aguleri, then Umuchu and Ekulobia. And also to complete the 60 MV substation at Dunukofia. And then to build a massive 2x150 MVA substation at Oka here. After building these substations, they will all be linked by 132 kV transmission lines. And when this project is completed, there's going to be like a power ring around the state. So any part of the state you can draw power, good power, and this can, drive industries, real estate, from everywhere in the state. It's massive, massive mega legacy. His Excellency has provided about 100 boreholes to different communities in the state. Also in partnership with the EU, His Excellency has done about 95 boreholes. Okay, and the big one, His Excellency is currently partnering with EU to develop the Otuocha and Obizi water scheme. Mega project. They've done up to 95%. The scale of the Otuocha one is they extract water and then reticulate it through the reticulation network about 5 kilometers to about 7 communities. The treatment plant is massive. Treatment plant has the capacity to treat about 10 million cubic meters of water per day. Highly impactful project. Of course, if all these water projects, for instance, are rolled out, Anambra State will be one of the first states that will attend this free open defecation even before the national deadline of 2025.
The Light Up Anambra campaign is one of the amazing ideas of the Obiano administration that has placed Anambra in a win-win situation. This scheme has not only created a 24-hour economy in the state, it has also changed social life in the cities. The scheme has enhanced nightlife and impacted heavily on the fight against crime and criminality. It has also unveiled the hidden aesthetics of most cities and towns, which now sparkle in the night and give the impression of one huge, sprawling urban habitat. The street lights also encourage interpersonal interaction, as in the Anambra feels safer to travel from Oka to Onitsha or Nnewi under the glorious dazzle of LED street lights.
His Excellency has done about 1,600 kilometers of streetlight projects, and this has greatly affected the economy of the state. The businesses are benefiting greatly from it. Now people, do business 24 hours. You see businesses do 2 shifts, putting more money in the pocket of the Anambra. And it has actually greatly helped in enhancing the security of the state. And that's why Anambra State still remains the safest state in Africa.
The successful completion and commissioning of Agulu Lake Hotel and its eventual handover to the Golden Tulip Group is a huge milestone of the Obiano administration. The hotel has become a most sought-after tourist offering of the state. It is fully booked almost all the time, and reservation has to be made well ahead of time.
His Excellency has excelled in giving us a hotel called Agulu Lake Hotel. What better way to show that you are tourism focused? So Agulu Lake Hotel is a 4-star hotel. It's in excellent condition and beautiful. There's a river by there. It has everything excellent for tourism. Now we know we have over 500 hotels in Anambra. So he has permitted us to do digitalization of the registration, digitalization of enumeration, and now we're doing inspection of hotels. So we check, we go with NAFDAC, we're going to start an organization with the fire department, hygiene, so that we see that the best quality is what is offered.
Obuku Caves and Waterfalls in Owerri-Zukala has also benefited from Obiano's magic touch.
So last year we commissioned Owerri-Zukala. This year we're going to commission Ogbunike Cave, Ojuku Bonka, and our museums we're also upgrading.
Work is ongoing at the moment on the access road to this spectacular tourist heaven, while the extremely steep pathway into the cave has been remodeled and reconstructed for a more comfortable approach to this hidden treasure.
One of the most important things about tourism is that tourism is a unifying force. It brings people together. It brings dialogue, it creates communication and interaction. That is what the leadership of His Excellency Mada Brochukwu Obiano is all about. Tourism is the greatest employer of labor in the world today. 1 in every 11 jobs is tourism related. Tourism contributes 10% to the global GDP of the world today. And you can see that His Excellency is focused on this. He has taken security 200%. And so security is the most important element of tourism. Any state that has tackled security is ready for tourism. So we are ready for tourism. But that's not only that. He has paid so much attention to medical tourism. He has paid incredible attention to education tourism. You can see how our students are winning awards all over the world because of His Excellency's excellence. He has also taken into very, very, very serious dimensions entertainment tourism. He has also made it possible for us to project our culture. Last year, we launched what we call Homecoming Festival. We celebrated Palm Wine Festival. We celebrated the New Yam Festival. We even did youth empowerment. We had people from all over Nigeria, from the north, south, east, and come to Anambra and to show to us that Anambra is not just about Ndi Anambra. It's about all our friends that are all over Nigeria who love us and who appreciate what Anambra is doing.
No governor in the history of Anambra State has shown as much interest in developing trade and commerce in the state as Governor Willie Obiano. The completion of the Oba International Market is one good proof of this. But a better proof is certainly the 10 million naira per market initiative, which has led to the remodeling of most markets in Anambra State in the past 2 years. There has also been a bold effort to relocate some of the markets or some segments of some markets to places that would enhance their accessibility to more customers as well as their growth. The completion of Onitsha Shopping Mall has added a new dimension to the city and created a hub for social-cultural engagement that goes beyond mere commerce.
Actually, His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano, when he took over, he understands what trade and commerce is to our people. He understands that trade and commerce is symbolic to we from this geographical part of the world. He was the first and only governor to do choose your project initiative to all the markets in Anambra State. I think he has done so well in creating that enabling environment, a business-friendly environment for investors, foreigners, and whoever to come in and trade in Anambra State.
When the history of the Obiano administration is finally written, the Anambra Small Business Agency, ASBA, will occupy a proud of place in the narrative. This is because this agency has served as a catalyst to the numerous entrepreneurial dreams of Ndi Anambra. ASBA is the silent power behind so many new businesses in the state, to lifestyle shops like electronic stores and other small businesses that have sprouted across the state in the past 5 years. The most iconic of all ASBA-funded initiatives is the Nkwele Zinaka Shoe Market Cluster, which has become a big player in the export market across West Africa. In all honesty, ASBA's diligent execution of its mandate has earned Anambra State a presidential award of the best state in support of SMEs in the country. There can be no greater applause.
We applied this fund within the purview of the limit to over 7,000 Ndi Anambra. This cut across the critical economic pillars of the government: agricultural value chain, trade and commerce, cottage industry, etc. Every local government benefited: the artisan, the market woman, even the young graduates that have not market money. We put them into cooperatives so they could be able to function. These monies we applied in that direction. And then the 1 billion naira for SME. These are the bigger, players, people that are well structured. We use it to resuscitate over 300 companies in Anambra State, including the Anambra Rice. And all these things we have done within the purview of our critical economic engine.
When His Excellency came in and put forward the bill to the Anambra House of Assembly to create ASBA, he essentially staffed it with world-class bankers, people who have experience running some of the biggest banks, both nationally and internationally. And they came in and they put in processes and procedures to ensure that money walks home, but most importantly, to ensure that maximum impact is felt on the people. Two areas that they focused on: one is the SMEs and the other is the micro industries. On the micro industries, they gave out R1 billion, 60% of that money mainly to women. That has gone on to create over 10,000 jobs in the Anambra economy. On the MSME angle, Anambra rice today is a product. The fact that people eat Anambra rice. I recall when he put in his request for 50 million naira to renovate and further expand his rice mill in Amici. All that came from ASBA. Anambra rice, even a number of restaurants. Even when you drive down and go on the Expressway, the Oka part, you can point to businesses that were set up through Anambra State Small Business Agency. And what that just means, it shows someone who's dedicated, who's focused, and who understands the business of development and economic growth. And that's essentially what we have with His Excellency Governor Willie Obiano.
A little over 5 years ago, no one in Anambra State believed that a proper mass transit system could function in the state. There was always fear and apprehension about a likely unsavory reaction from the road transport unionists and big-time transporters in the state. But the Obiano administration has made a big impact in the mass transit sector, with the big intercity buses, popularly known as Willie is Walking. This intervention touched society's most vulnerable members, as low-income earners, civil servants and students rely heavily on these buses to meet their personal commitments and stay afloat. These buses have become ubiquitous landmarks on our roads and across our cities as they continue to meet the people at the point of their needs.
Willie's Walking bus is there at Opiweka, is there at Ekulobia, is there at Newi, is everywhere you go. And I think some of them needed to be upgraded, and we are putting everything in place to make sure that these buses are functional, particularly this Ember month. And you know, that bus, the government subsidized transportation. That is the beauty of it, and that is what our people want. So for the Ember month, the Ministry of Transport has organized a training that encompasses the Road Safety Corps, Civil Defense, the DSS, the police, the security agencies will all be there. Then associations like Association of Bus Drivers, Association of Tricycle Drivers, Okada drivers, everything that runs on the road. So what we want to achieve is to train the people on the modalities and what should be done at any particular time when driving. For example, it is an offense to be talking on telephone when driving. About traffic management, the government is doing its best. You can see in Oka here, in strategic positions or locations, the government has put in the traffic lights. These are what we see overseas, at Onitsha, at Ekulobia, at Newi, and so on and so forth. All this is to manage traffic.
The International Conference Center, ICC, is one of the major legacy projects of the Obiano administration. On completion, the center will launch Anambra into a new social orbit marked by conferences, workshops, summits, and major get-togethers that will boost the revenue profile of the state. The center is expected to seat 5,000 people. It has so many collapsible meeting rooms and other facilities that befit a landmark project of its stature.
I am happy that this administration, His Excellency Chief Dr. Willie Obiano's administration, had thought it very essential and in fact designed and embarked on the construction of International Conference Center here in Awka. It was designed to be a multi-purpose International Conference Center. And so, you know, small groups can use it, big groups can use it. You could do indoor sports the way it's designed, and so on and so forth. Even the ground is open for very flexible use. And then next to it, which by the way we're calling also for people to come for this, there is space left for a 5-star hotel that will support. That's investment opportunity.
By the time Governor Obiano finishes the world-class ICC Center, the International Conference Center, that is second to none in the whole of Africa, I will bet you that. That's when people's eyes will open in what this guy is doing. Wonderful investments, wonderful developments, infrastructure based. Governor Obiano started the NYSC camp at Mbauku. 4,000 capacity units, 4 blocks, 2 blocks for male and 2 for female. It's been completed, they're using it today.
We are all very excited, myself, the course officials and the core members. Everybody is excited to be here. Umuya had this legendary reputation for discomfort, even though we were able to manage that. We always tell them, look, Umuya camp is not a reflection of what Anambra State is. You can imagine then when they had that at the back of their mind that they were coming to Anambra with the worst camp in the Nigeria, only for them to land here and see the best camp in Nigeria. They are all excited, they are happy, they are very excited. And we've always told them, to whom much is given, much is expected. And Anambra State spent a lot of money putting up this structure. We have a multipurpose hall that can also seat 4,000 comfortably. We have a very, very modern parade ground, well paved. I can see what it will look like when it's fully finished. We have a pavilion. We also have the religious centers recognized by the NYSC. We have 3. That's the Catholics, the Protestants, as well as the mosque. We have all that. And we have a kitchen that is gas powered. We use gas here. But the one that excites me most is we have a sick bay that is comparable to even the teaching hospital. It's like a general hospital. And we have doctors' quarters right in there. We have nurses' quarters, we have male ward, we have the female ward. Before now, His Excellency had donated an ambulance, which is on standby 24 hours. The state government drilled 2 boreholes. In the camp alone, we have about 32 overhead tanks supplying water. And we don't bath with buckets here, we bath with shower, which is a first in Nigeria also. Our showers run 24 hours. More importantly for me, we have a braithwaite tank that can conveniently store water for 2 days, that we can rely on for 2 days, just in case there is any failure anywhere. Governor has dropped 2 generating sets, one to power the hostels, the other one to power the street lights. That's the lights around within so that while we put the street lights can be on all through the night. So Anambra State is running the most facility-friendly, compact orientation camp right now.
When Chief Willie Obiano assumed the mantle of leadership of Anambra State, he identified housing as one of the areas of focus of his government to propel the state to the next level. The vision of the Obiano administration is to be the #1 state in Nigeria, delivering quality, affordable and sustainable housing to its people, with a mission to establish a sustainable system for the Anambra in a serene environment that will foster productivity and socio-economic advantage.
Housing as a ministry is very, very important to what His Excellency does, because you can have everything, but if you don't have shelter for the people, what have you got? And so His Excellency Chief Dr. Willie Obiano's strategic blueprint specifically mandates the Minister of Housing to endeavor to close the gap on the housing shortages in the state by producing at least 10,000 housing units per year. This ministry, within the past 5.5 years of his administration, had made some strides in that direction. There is 1,000 housing units for civil servants that's going on next to Millennium City. And then, of course, there is a 500 housing units that was attracted by this administration through federal government. It's yet to really take up, but that's something that we have going. There is, first and foremost, the Millennium City, which is touted as the #1 precinct that we have proposed for Waka Capital Territory. I'm happy to announce that we have MP Infrastructure partnering with the state government to produce high-end residential estate there. And in fact, work is going on heavily there. We have FAB, who, by the way, most people should know, do a lot of developments in Abuja, was attracted under this Akuron initiative that His Excellency calls on the Anambra to partake in by UNIZIC. The attempt was to also create a university town as we do overseas, and that attempt is growing. And then, of course, there was Ngozi Estate next to it. We're trying to create what we call New Town, layout. So next to that, we have Dozie investments, and then of course another development next to it. And so we've done all those, but then Awka is not the only place. His Excellency said we have to at least touch what he calls the honor axis, which is Onitsha, Nnewi, and Awka axis. And so when you come to Onitsha, for instance, we also have a major development going on there that the state government is partnering with Rotec Energy Services to develop, again, high-end residential estates in a place we'll call luxury estates, Nunkwele, GRA. And so these are things that are going on, and the business is still ripe. And so we invite people to come and invest. After all, His Excellency has made it very possible for these things to happen.
The Obiano administration has shown a remarkable sensitivity to the ravages of erosion and flooding in Anambra State. The administration has tackled about 12 major erosion sites across the state, but the efforts of the state seem like a drop in the ocean because Anambra has over 900 active gully erosion sites that require urgent attention. Nevertheless, the administration, in partnership with the World Bank, the federal government, and the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NEWMAP, has fought back with a sterling performance that has drawn the praises of people who had lost their homes and livelihood to erosion, but have regained them with the intervention of NEWMAP.
If I may quote my governor, he used to say that there should be state of emergency in Anambra State in terms of erosion control, erosion problem. You know, in the recent times, the types of Oga incident, the one at Nkisi, the one at Nnewi, and so many of them, you know. But I thank His Excellency because he has been contributing his counterpart funds to NEWMAP, World Bank, assistance, And the last time the World Bank man visited, he pleaded with him that they should give more aid and all that assistance, and funding, which they said they promised to do something about it.
And I just came to flag off the repair, if you will, of this very major erosion site. You can see how deep it is. 100-foot road in Nnewi, Uruagu Nnewi. This project is costing the Anambra State government a lot of money. We awarded the contract to IDC company, and we have mobilized them to commence work. I've seen how bad this site is, and if we don't do anything this period, when the rain comes, most of the buildings here will cave in. By the way, we have horrible sites like this in about 972 places. So Anambra State government alone cannot fund these kinds of projects. And we are working with the World Bank, NEWMAP, in only 16 sites out of 972. So you are not scratching the surface at all. So we're pleading on the federal government to assist Anambra. I've severally made representations to the presidency to declare state of emergency on Anambra on erosion. Because we need a massive support. Erosion is taking out most of our topsoils and destroying the property of the people around here.
Anambra State has fully played its part in ensuring that we provide the requisite facilities for NEWMAP to thrive. In terms of counterpart funding, the state government has been very gracious, providing 1 billion naira worth of counterpart funding for NEWMAP to be able to draw money from this purse. And also the state government is providing facilities in terms of staffing as well as the accommodation, and that's the office space that we use to do what we do here in NEWMAP. In terms of scope and number, we have intervened in 14 sites across a number of states. Real huge gully erosion, and I'm saying things in the neighborhood of about 3-4 kilometers long and 20 meters deep. That tells you the extent to which this devastation really are hard hitting. Against the lives of the people that we work for. And so of the 14 sites, 2 have been completed and actually waiting handover by the state government back to the communities. 11 of them, 12 of them are in various stages of completion, and there's active work going on at all 12 simultaneously. Based on the feedback we get from the communities, has been very encouraging. It means essentially that the work we're doing is good and that the people we work for are happy with what we're doing.
The governor has also demonstrated a keen interest in the perennial flooding of the riverine communities, rolling out rescue missions to save life and give the victims a sense of belonging each time nature has struck. Coastal locations like Obaru, Onitsha North and South, Anambra East and West, and Ayamelum local government areas have always received the best care from the Obiano administration when the floods have visited. One of the pragmatic steps taken by Governor Obiano to actualize his vision of a befitting state capital for Anambra was to create the Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, ACTDA.
Awka Capital Territory was established in 2014. It's a brainchild of the governor. Awka Capital Territory Development Authority was put in place to plan and have a master plan for Awka and its environment to actually accelerate the infrastructural development within the enclave, within the perimeters of the capital territory, and to enforce the master plan to reflect the objectives of the master plan, to actually coordinate the private sector, the government parastatals, and other agencies within the state as it relates to Awka Capital Territory, and to offer other functions that His Excellency may deem fit to delegate to the Capital Territory Development Authority.
The agency has not only concluded the aerial mapping of the 10 square kilometer that makes up the Awka Capital Territory, but went further and area mapped the entire state. Anambra is the second state to do so in Nigeria. Governor Obiano's intention is to create new presence such as the proposed business district area and the Millennium City project, among others. This will move Awka from a mononucleus capital to a bigger multi-nucleus modern city.
The area photography that has enabled not just this authority, but even the Ministry of Lands and other commercial users to identify the land and the topography and for other scientific uses. Of recent, we have embarked on activating the drawing of the master plan in a very short time. The preparation of the master plan and its realization will be very practical. We have enforced the development control. We have enforced the building control. The building control borders on the areas of making sure that the plan will be well vetted. We have the engineers, we have the urban planners, we have the health sector, and we normally go in for soil testing when it is necessary. We make sure that the building plan submitted is exactly the building that will be put in place during the construction. We have a plethora of steps that must be taken before we approve. We have areas that are mapped out for high density, we have medium density, and we have low density. We have industrial layouts If you really want to build an industry, we have industrial layouts where you can build your industries. Within the Awka city, at Mobe roundabout, we have a bell tower there, which is very iconic. It actually signifies Anambra State as a beacon of light. We have the roundabout at Ring Road. We have a sculpture at the center of the roundabout showing what Awka people we are known for, blacksmith. And that reflects actually the culture of Awka people. We have actually erected barriers, wire mesh, along the motorway, especially between Kwata and Aroma. We are still on course to continue putting the wire mesh from Aroma down to Government House and east to Biako Junction. We have a model of bus stops and public toilets, which we will soon put in place. That will help the public to maintain their sanity and to curb open defecation.
Governor Willie Obiano is a man that appreciates standards. And having recognized that this is what I represent, he mandated me to bring my wealth of experience to bear on the infrastructure and mindset of the people of Anambra State. So far, our impact have been felt. For example, the renovation of the state secretariat, as you can see. A lot of work has been gone into getting the secretariats really up to standard. And then also lighting and safety on the flyovers at night. You can see all those. We developed a document called Anambra State Gold Standard to guide the institutionalization of standards in the infrastructure and human capital development in Anambra State. We have organized seminars and workshops to sensitize people of Anambra State on the need for standards. And as a result, Governor Obiano created a Standards and Modernization Committee and made me chairman. Today, I'm glad to say that the government of Anambra State has embraced our model, fully embraced our model, and has gone ahead to put them to action. The results are visible and more will manifest in the near future, all thanks to a standards-oriented governor.
The Anambra Walk for Life initiative is one of the ideas that have made the Obiano administration a memorable period in the history of Anambra State. Through this program, the Anambra have been subtly enlightened on the immense benefits of living an active lifestyle. On the first Saturday of every month, residents of the major cities troop out to participate in long and colorful walk that strengthens a sense of community and enhances the fitness of participants. The state has done well in sports, with so many contingents to national sporting events returning with laurels and mementos.
The Walk for Life is a part of our leisure games, sports that we created to enable the young and the old to interact and do sports in a working way where they will not stress themselves so much, but at the same time, give themselves a healthy living. We created the under 13 and under 17, which is the popular academicals. We started it in November 2018. And in 2019, we played the very first final, almost after 10 years of that football tournament not existing in Anambra State. And it might interest you that from there, we picked our young lads that went to represent us at Ilori, at the National Youth Festival. 3 of these athletes were picked, and they are right now in a scholarship at Abuja. This scholarship is worth 2.6 million naira per annum for each of them. So you can see that the program we started is yielding, a lot of fruit. Also, we have the Community Shield, which is a football tournament we inaugurated for the 189 communities in Anambra State. This tournament ended in December 2019. On 28th of December, precisely, we played the finals. It might also interest you that from there, we selected the football team that represented the Southeast at the zonal elimination at Owerri. Though they didn't make it to the National Sports Festival, but the women wing qualified. But the important thing is that we didn't go to any club to get these players. We harnessed these players from the tournament that we played. Our coaches were going around the venues, and we selected a very strong team. In short, they lost the final match to Imo State that hosted. They didn't lose any match. So it is an interesting thing for us. Now, we also went further to create the University League. Check the whole country. There is no state that can come today and prove that they are having a University League. We have it in Anambra State. They've concluded the first round. They've played 6 matches. Now we're going into the semi-final level. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria that is playing football league for their high institutions. Anambra State is have been adjoined. Even the IGP of police have said it as the safest state in Nigeria. We created Security Challenge, where we have all the security agencies that are helping us to do this work to come and play. So we always have 1 week program for them. Last year, the Nigerian police won the tournament. And it will tell you that their winning was not a fluke. In this just concluded Nigerian police game, the Zone 9, which is made up of Anambra, Abia, and Enugu, won the football tournament. And by our understanding, the crop of the players are made up of this Anambra State team. So it tells you that the program we are running has a chain effect. So sports in Anambra State is going up in a very higher level. One of the things that has really happened in grooming the sports in Anambra State is that for the first time, the Anambra State contingent to the Southeast Zonal Elimination, we qualified in all the games we entered. So right now, we just concluded the Nigerian police game, which is an interesting event. The world was beaming at Anambra State for more than 1 week, for the first time in the history of this country. This is the 12th biannual police game. This is the first time a Southeast is hosting it, and it happened to be Anambra State. We finished the police game. Now we are facing the National Sports Festival. If you go back to that court, you see that our people have taken over their facility. Because people were wondering what will become of it. They've taken over the facility. Go there every morning, you see training going on. In all, we want to thank His Excellency for the big support he's giving sports. In short, he has been a satellite on sports, and he's taking it to the next level.
To productively and positively engage the youth in the state, Governor Obiano repositioned the Ministry of Youth Entrepreneurship. This ministry, among other things, has created a framework which will train, retrain, and empower the youth in diverse vocations, producing a pool of skilled and semi-skilled workforce, making them either employers of labor or employable in the many industries that has been attracted by Obiano's favorable economic policies.
In the youth activities, that's always been prime for His Excellency, because he believes that the youths are the greater tomorrow, and he believes that we need to start early to engage the youths. The target that we have been given by His Excellency to drive Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy is primarily to engage the youths, to give them that very notch to have the entrepreneurial spirit, make these youths to become employers of labor, and make them to become employable. Having said that, we've also keyed into the federal government what they call DEAL. It's digital literacy, entrepreneurship, employability, and leadership. Those are the key things that the Minister of Youth have as a portfolio to drive youth activities in the environment. And we had started earlier on to drive these activities, leveraging on what we have on ground, and also you can see the Federal Ministry of Youth is also in line with what we're doing as a state. Programs like One Youth, One Skill, where we believe every youth should have a skill in the state. We have a program that we've just started, a Smart Jobs Initiative. This is, we call it the value transfer and a marketplace platform, using a smart device to engage their youth This very platform, we've got approval by His Excellency to engage 10,000 youths. Youths will be trading on the smart device to do business and make money. We have programs we call the YES Group, Youth Entrepreneurship Startup Group. This is a program that we have in collaboration with Unizik Business School. We call it a corporate arm of one of our programs that we call the Triple I Initiative. We have designed these programs to be able to identify youths who are quite creative, to the level of youths who are also just thinking of developing something quite unique that they haven't been able to bring to fore. We have a target to develop 300 businesses every year in partnership with the Unizik Business School. We have stakeholders and the government who partner to make sure that this works very well. A program that we've also just launched, we call the Triple I Initiative. Triple I Initiative, the acronym means Inventor, Investor, Initiative. It's a community-driven initiative that we have started. And this involves us going through the communities to identify creative and innovative youths with very unique creativity. And we identify these youths, we have an understanding with them to expose them to investors, the ones the state can also handle, the state handles. When we introduce them to this program, we understand their creativity and look at the business components around that. Have some legal undertone also to make sure that investors come in and they don't leave with these creative ideas. We have Youth in Agriculture. This is also one of the programs that we believe will move very, very, very well. We've developed concepts on crop production and concepts on livestock production. We've also set up a center that we found quite recently. We call the Creative Center. We've identified the location and it's ongoing now. The center will become entertainment. It will also become a hub for creativity in terms of ICT, coding, and the rest of it. We have also identified a location approved by His Excellency, a 45-hectare land very close to a tourist environment in Obunike Cave, around Obunike Cave axis, to develop what we call the film village. When you train a youth meaningfully, that the youth would effectively have almost over 10 to 15 people who come behind them. So when you train a youth, you've trained 15 people. But we want to be able to build their mental status so they can see the entrepreneurial side of the Anambra and believe that our belief system is show us where to catch this fish. We can go in and do it better.
So I am so excited. I've learned so many things. I can make up, you can see my face, I did it myself. Facials, I can wash your face, make your face to look nice. I can do so many things. I can do so many things.
I can say it's a welcome development. At least this is the first of its kind. I've not heard or seen this kind of development in any state. And now I've traveled to some states, but this is a unique activity, it's a unique one. I'm very grateful to the state government.
When Governor Obiano assumed office, he announced his philosophy of Ana Aluolo, Ana Alumadu. What he meant was that his government would be essentially driven by the kindest consideration for the people, that his administration would put the people first. Obiano ensured that the Anambra worker did not suffer the scalding fire of the last economic recession, that their salaries were not only paid on time, but were actually increased when other states were owing workers several months of salaries. He also donated buses to convey them to work and back from different locations to minimize their out-of-pocket spending, and has continued to hand out bags of rice every Christmas to civil servants. He has demonstrated a great love for workers, clearing long-standing pension arrears and unpaid salaries of workers, and approving the promotion of workers who were ignored by previous administrations. Obiano has also sponsored some teachers on offshore training and paid incentive to teachers who teach in hard-to-reach areas.
The governor has actually restored the dignity of the workers, okay? Because
there are things they now take for granted. The average worker in this state can plan his life because he knows his salary is regular. He knows it's gonna come rain, come shine, on the 25th. Okay? You just saw me flagging up the collection of the annual Christmas rice. It's as regular as that since he came into office. It's been happening. The leave allowances are paid. Entitlements of workers are paid. Pensioners are paid. You may say these things are routine stuff, but they are no longer routine in Nigeria. You contextualize these things. In the country where we belong today, you can't take salaries for granted. They know states around have the same different challenges and so on. We are fortunate to have somebody, because it's also a matter of prioritization. He considers workers' welfare of paramount importance. And that's why, in spite of the paucity of funds, he continues to do what he's doing. Okay? Take a look at the background I am in now. The secretariat, the working environment of the workers, is wearing a new look. Facelift, okay, and upgrading of facilities here. The workers' transport scheme still on, working regularly, and many other things. Promotions come regularly and continue to come, because these are the things that workers look up to. These are things that motivate them, okay? What they are entitled to, they get. Workers here trust this gentleman. They look up to him as a father, and he's been discharging that fatherly role. In spite of the imperfections in the system, because the service is not full of angels. We have people who are not doing what they are supposed to do, or going beyond what they are supposed to do. But he has not held it against anybody. As a group, as a class, he rates the workers of the state very highly. And the workers will go anywhere with him.
Governor Obiano has left an enduring legacy in the mass media sector with the sparkling new studios of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, which is Nigeria's first fully digital broadcast station. Before Obiano, the station was in a decrepit state with rat-infested studios and primitive broadcast equipment. But today, ABS is rated as the best state-owned broadcast studio in Nigeria. The most remarkable thing to note about ABS is that Governor Obiano is the only governor to clear the 25-year-old arrears of pension owed the former staff of the state right from the creation of the state. ABS has shown strong desire to grow, as the station has even set up a film academy.
Anambra has become the most competitive state in Nigeria in the last 3 years, and the competitiveness extends to the agencies supervised by the Ministry of Information. Our broadcasting organization is absolutely the most advanced, digitally speaking, in Nigeria and beyond. In fact, on August 15th last year, the Director of Engineering and Technology, Friday Okwela, of the National Broadcasting Commission, visited ABS facilities. He couldn't believe what he saw. He was convinced that our governor was either a computer scientist or an electronic engineer who has practiced in places like San Francisco, Los Angeles. He actually compared our studios to what they have Universal Studios in Los Angeles. Our printing press is anytime from now going to experience massive reorganization to become a 21st century printing press. The other agencies are also doing well. The National Lights does not only print consistently, but the printing is beautiful. And beyond that, they're involved in community development, involved in the promotion of the arts and culture, which our governor takes seriously. He's a man of culture in every sense of that expression. So we are doing
very, very well. The fundamental issue actually is that the agencies supervised by the ministry and the military itself are in the forefront of the campaign to rebrand Anambra State, to make Anambra State synonymous with excellence, and the excellence is reflected in the competitive nature of the states.
Our brothers and sisters living with different degrees of disability have never had it so good. Governor Obiano has paid a special attention to them. That is why Barrister Nnamdi Ezewuzie, a brilliant lawyer, was appointed as special advisor to the governor on disability affairs to give that community a sense of belonging and a voice in the decision-making body of Anambra State. Under Obiano, the community has also produced a permanent secretary, while a bold effort has been made to absorb more of them into the system. Under Obiano too, Anambra State House of Assembly became the first legislative assembly to sign the disability bill into law. There is indeed no doubt that the disability community is enjoying a new lease of life under Obiano.
We have in Anambra State a history-making governor. He runs the most disability-inclusive administration in history. So the APGA administration in Anambra State has set itself apart as the most disability-inclusive administration in history.
Governor Willie Obiano holds the record of the only Igbo governor who has shown enough sensitivity to the deep pains of the Biafran experience and has held a memorial program in honor of the people who lost their lives in the war. Ozemezina is an epic moment in our collective memory of the war, and one in which Governor Obiano demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that his heart is with his people. The story of the exploits of the Willie Obiano administration in Anambra State would be incomplete without mentioning the giant strides of Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Ebele Obiano through her NGO, CAFE. Mrs. Obiano has brought hope to the hopeless and a chance for a new beginning to down indigent widows, motherless babies, and homeless people in the state. Through CAFE, many indigent widows who were long forgotten by the society have become proud owners of modern homes, while young women have been equipped and empowered with vocational skills that will make them contribute to the economy in a more significant way. Abandoned babies have been picked up and given a home, and people who have lost their limbs have been equipped with prosthetic limbs. The interregimental home, which the governor's wife runs, is a landmark success as it has brought succor and relief to so many families whose loved ones have suffered the untold indignity of mental health. There have been special cases of grand family reunions, like the Anene family of Northia, whose matriarch, Rose, was declared missing for 35 years, but later ended up in the Inteje home, from where she was eventually returned to her family. There is no doubt that Chief Mrs. Obiano has become the human face of governance in Anambra State.
Initially, people were making fun of the beginning, that he hit the ground running and he was probably running too fast. But today, they saw that he has maintained the tempo. Governor Obiano is even running faster now than he started.
His policies have been underlined by public purpose.
underlined by measurability, things you can measure. A contrast between the periods where mainstream politicians governed and when technocracy came into government.
The whole thing reflects the character of the governor, which is that he believes so much in planning. He believes so much that if he has a dream and has a plan and gets a great team, that he will make it happen. Of course, doing more with less. Remember, he doesn't really like spending money. Background, banker, he knows the value of money. But he knows the value of having a direction and putting resources towards that direction and monitoring that you deliver. So what he calling it finishing well. He says, I've done 5.5 years. I have another 2 years before the elections come, and I think that's it. In those 2 years, I want to focus on my legacy projects. Of course, the state keeps running. Salaries will be paid, roads will be clean, environment will be clean, but I want to do legacy things. Things that will change forever the way the state is run. So he inaugurated a committee for the Vision 2070 of Anambra State. Basically, he says, I want to do that thing I did for 8 years. I want us to help the state do it for 50 years. So where will Anambra be in 50 years? So over time, what are the things we must do? And he appointed a great team. In my opinion, that would be a marking script for governments in future. Marking script for anyone that wants to become governor. Because the people will say, so which part of this, our story, are you going to make happen for us? That's one legacy that he's living.
Coming to ESCO about 9 o'clock, sometimes we finish 4, 5. The most you see him do is drink coffee, and he's going. He's talking, he's listening, he's participating, trying to make decisions and way forward to make things move in our state. You see the energy, you see the zeal to get things done, and it's incredible. I find it interesting. It's quite commendable. That's why I consider his style of governance the way it ought to be. This is what should be practiced in the federal government. This is what all the states should also practice.
In all, over the course of 5 years, Governor Obiano has firmly established himself in the imagination of his people as a visionary, fearless and courageous leader who would spare no effort to leave Anambra State better than he met it.
With all our hearts, we pray and ask, God bless Anambra, God bless the shining light that we bear. We're the only ones to make her brighter, the